Now to some football. When football across Jamaica was declared null and void in March, there were mixed reactions to the decision. However, TVJ Sports' Don Anderson poll shows that the majority of Jamaicans are in agreement with the decision made by the JFF. In a sample of 1,071 with a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points, 81% were in support of the decision made by the JFF to end all football competitions across the island. The decision was taken on March 14 following the spread of COVID-19 in the country.
It says 8 out of every 10 persons felt that the cancellation of the Red Stripe Premier League was the right decision. Of course, for somebody who was recently involved in the Red Stripe Premier League, I supported that, but of course I was not part of the sample. All right, but for sure, you had a significant degree of support for the cancellation of the Red Stripe because of COVID.
According to pollster Don Anderson, the poll was not done among those who are involved with the Premier League, but on a national scale.
You could do that at another time, and then you could segue into an analysis by persons who were involved in sports said X or Y. That wasn't the intent, and that was not done. That's not being reflected in here.
But former PLCA Vice Chairman Carvel Stewart was against the decision then and still is now.
My view at the time and remains that we should have suspended the league until we would have determined exactly how we could continue rather than cancelling. Cancellation gives you no option at all, but because suspension could eventually lead to cancellation or it could lead to resumption.
As for the JFF, General Secretary Dalton Wint says the poll responses vindicate the Federation's decision.
It's not really a feel-good factor. It just shows that when you sit and you make calculated decisions and make the right one, you will be vindicated.
RJR Gleaner Group football analyst O'Neill Meredith remains supportive of the JFF's decision and urges fans not to use what is happening in Europe, where football is being played, as a yardstick.
The resources that they had and to put up to get it playing was enormous, and we don't have that kind of money. Especially knowing that gate receipt is what a lot of our football clubs strive off. And they have been able to play football without that kind of receipt, which it affected them also.
Wint says the JFF took into consideration all the pros and cons when the decision was being made.
We did not just come up with that recommendation. We went through and we had discussion. We seek the necessary information before we made that announcement.
Football is set to resume in Jamaica in October, but that is now uncertain with a recent spike in COVID-19 cases.